Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and welcome to another quick update, or rather analysis. It's actually more of an analysis than update about the situation at Karmazyanivka. And this is where the Russians have a breakthrough across the Zerabets River. As you can see, this is the river. These blue lines are the river. This is the Zerabets River. If I'm not wrong, Zerabets means zebra. And so the Russians have make a breakthrough. This distance is actually 5 kilometers deep, and the latest rumors is actually that they had even expanded to 6 to 7 kilometers. So the Russians are making this push, and yesterday I've already done a analysis video about the situation of this breakthrough, and I want to cover a bit more using a different map. This is the custom map, the DPA's custom map, where it's actually in black, so it's easier to see the roads, and also that I can actually explain a bit more about the strategic importance of different towns and where the Russians might hit, and what is the implications for the Ukrainians. So as we know, in the latest information, the Russian forces actually have kind of entered Novoyehorivka. There is rumors that they are already fighting on the western part of Novoyehorivka. In the latest mapping, also we have the Russian forces attacking in the northern part. Southern part is of course already been superseded. The Ukrainian forces have fall back into Zvodolibove, whatever you want to call this. They have already fall back to this area here. There's a high chance that they are not going to be able to hold this, and they're going to have to retreat across the, what would I say, I think is a farmland and forest region. There's some farmland and forest region around this area here towards the main road, another major road across on this Novosahivka region here. This area here, this is that road. So this is the road that the Ukrainian forces will have to cross over in their withdrawal, because I don't think they'll be able to hold this location. One major reason is because there is actually no roads to send reinforcement or resupply to. As you can see, there is actually not even small roads, and you can see the satellite imaging. You can see that it's just forests and farms, and this is actually makes it really difficult for the Ukrainians to reinforce any reinforcement over here to try to hold the line against the Russian advancement around the Novoyehorivka region, which currently the rumor is that it has been captured by the Russian forces. The Ukrainian forces is likely to hold a defense line along this forest region just off Zvodolibove, and because all this forest line region is easier to resupply from the roads for the Ukrainians, and forest usually makes pretty good entrenched position. Of course, the Russians have reportedly, according to Ukrainian sources, saying that they have tremendous amount of artillery and they are sparing none as the Russian forces make this push. So we shall see whether the Ukrainians will be able to hold this line. When we look at the roads, other than this very thick line, this is actually the border between Kharkiv, Luhansk, and Donetsk. These thinner gray roads, these are the roads. You can see that yesterday I mentioned about Borova. Borova is a major important hub where it actually leads northward towards Kupiansk or Senkove or Kularyakivka all the way to Kupiansk over here, and then there is actually only one tiny road over towards Berestove. So this is actually more of a bigger hub, Borova, and it crosses over to Horovaka, and which is links to the rest of the Kharkiv region. And the Ukrainian forces is using this area here to reinforce and resupply the front line. And Borova is that key town that allows the connection. It also can lead all the way south towards Lozove and all the way to the Liman region. This is Liman, and so it is one of the many major strategic town that is along this eastern part of the Oskil River. And you can see that the Ukrainians actually have a tremendous amount of capture to push the Russians back by this much. And the Russians are now making this push. There is still a lot of way to go. The Ukrainian sources saying that the Russian forces is pushing towards Shenef, China. Shenef, China is near this hub, this junction here, just north of Izumske, and this actually is an important junction around this region here. So we can expect the Russians to push this direction, capture this junction, and there's this push over here, this area here. So we can actually imagine that they will actually go for Peshot-Shavneve as well. The push here also is also starting to break the Ukrainian lines. The Ukrainian lines along the river is starting to break. There is rumors that Serhievka has been captured by the Russian forces. It's still a rumor right now, but this you can see that according to Remelin, the enemy is retreating from Serhievka, according to them. Enemy referring to the Ukrainians. So the Ukrainians are dropping back probably to Nadia, and if they cannot hold this position, they will actually follow this road all the way to Peshot-Shavneve. And so this, some sort of a pincer of sort, the Russians are likely to push to this area here. We have this push over this area here, and you can see that the entire vicinity here will be under threat. There is not many major roads left. This is the two major roads. The Russians can actually push in two different directions towards Borova, and they can cut off all these important roads that the Ukrainians need to control the region around here. So the Russian forces, so if you look at the terrain wise, it looks pretty, hilly around this area here. The Russians are likely to push along the high ground towards Shenef, China, and of course they will capture this, because once you have the high ground, which currently the Russians seems to be able to capture, they are able to rain fire down on the village. The Ukrainians would not be able to hold. They'll have to pull back. Further up north, other than Serhievka, the Russians is likely to have captured this, capturing Nadia. There's no more settlements around here. The Russian forces will be able to use the road towards Peshot-Shavneve and capture Kopanki, and they will be able to link up by going south to meet the Russian forces that is coming this direction. And if they have this salient, you can see that the Ukrainian road system, they will have tremendous problems trying to resupply, as the roads here will be totally cut off. This is actually pretty serious, because we do not know. Tentatively, we have actually no information about how heavy is the entrenchment around this area here. Is it like the Russians at the Zaporizhia front, where they have multiple lines of very serious defenses? Tentatively, I haven't seen such information, and so the Ukrainians' best bet is currently hold this line along this Peshot-Shavneve all the way to Shenef, China, and this along a major road. This is the line that they have to hold. If this line breaks, there is not much places where they can actually hold, except that some random towns area here, which is not very ideal for the Ukrainians. So anyway, this is just to take a look at the road system situation. You can see that further up north, there is actually literally no roads around Stemakivka region. It's basically Peshot-Shavneve. If they go all the way down, one color, this all the way down, they don't even have to go for all this town. They can just go straight down. All these towns will essentially become totally helpless. The Ukrainians over they are in these towns may have to reconsider whether they want to stay there, because they will be stranded and they are not going to get resupply. They're not going to get food, because a lot of us when we look at all this mapping, we forgot that all these soldiers are humans. They need to drink, they need to eat. So this resupply is not just about bullets, weapons, ammunition, shells, but it's also about food, water, and basic hygiene stuff. So the situation here is still not hopeless yet. As I mentioned, the Ukrainians still can hold this line, and they still have proper roads they can use to resupply. The connection between the front lines are still open. This area here is some sort of a where we in Chinese say, you know, where the birds do not lay egg. It's like it's very out of place, out of the way. And we can see there's actually no roads linking, which is why maybe the Ukrainians have lesser defenses around here, because it's just harder to resupply this area. And maybe this is why this is the weak spot, and the Russians managed to exploit this weakness. And so we shall see how this goes. Just want to let you know, yeah, Borova, this is where the Russians might be heading to. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope this expands on what we have talked about yesterday. And we have reached 70,000 subs for the main channel, the DPA channel. So thank you for the subscribe, and do subscribe also if you still have not subscribed. We will definitely continue to monitor this situation over at the Luhansk Kharkiv border region. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next update.